So some of you might have wondered what happened to the stuff inside the Alienware PC, which I rebuilt into my modern gaming rig. Well, it's actually all inside this thing. This is the old Alienware Aurora R1 ALX. It features an i7-960, so pretty fast for the time. Actual factory overclock, so pretty cool. A liquid cooling system right here, so you can see the water cooler. And a HD 5870, 9 gigs of RAM, really weird configuration, but yeah. And a hard drive. So you might be thinking, well, okay, it's very quiet for being such an old system. Well, the thing is, it's not actually on right now. For some reason, this lighting here, which goes through USB, turns on immediately to switch on the power supply. But if I actually go ahead and turn the PC on, yeah, it's loud. Very loud. However, it does work. As you can see, we're booting in BIOS right now. And while we're doing that, let me take you through some of the stuff that we've done to this PC to get everything working. So as you can see, here in the front, we have the water cooling system. Now, the water cooling system was mounted not, it's a 120 mil radiator, so you'd think you'd mount it like, a regular water cooler, like just screw it in. Well, there are no places to screw it in, so I just had to cut up the case with a metal sheet cutter and just basically hack up the entire thing, removing all structural integrity of the case, so highly questionable if this could take a drop or two, or even, do this on it. But instead what we did is we screwed in one part, and then I managed to tilt it just enough so you can screw in the other part. So yeah, it sort of sits, but it's probably not the greatest thing ever. Okay, so the actual graphics card is an AMD Radeon HD 5870. It came with Alienware, and these cards, they're really weird because they have this long extender in the front, which I talked about in the last video, where you put it in and it like connects to a thing in the front, so it stabilizes the card so there's no GPU sag. Well, that was a problem because this GPU was too long for this case. I couldn't fit it, so I had to cut that up as well. So I just took, the metal sheet cutter and just snipped it off, which was very hard because that was some thick stuff. I think it was like at least 2-3 millimeters thick, and that's like pretty heavy. Heavy steel right there. Heavy metal. But otherwise, it's basically just regular Alienware PC. All the old school connections that you'd had in the Aurora ALX 1. We have the SSX cooler, as I said, actively cooled chipset here with that tiny fan on there. And then we get to one of the parts which is really weird. Right about here, this is the connector that goes to the CPU pump. And it is actually plugged in directly into the power supply. Because what I got recommended on the Alienware first is that, well, that plug right there is non-standard, and sometimes it can bug out when you essentially put it into a motherboard. So what they told me to do instead is plug it directly into a 12-volt connector so that it's always at max speed, so that you always get optimal cooling performance and you don't kill your CPU. It's a bit questionable, because do you always want to run like a pump at 100% speed? I don't know, I'm no water cooling guru, but it seems a bit weird to me. So the actual fan in the front then is actually plugged into the motherboard, the CPU fan header. So it is actively being, changed in the RPM and everything to kind of suit it. The build was extremely tight, and because of that, we couldn't really fit a hard drive anywhere in there. And I had to cut up actually the hard drive mount to even fit the cooler. So what I ended up doing is here in the front, I put the hard drive here, removed the drive cage, and I didn't actually, put like some 5.5 inch to 3.5 inch to like 3.5 adapter. I just zip tied it in there, which is 200 IQ. Don't fret. And with all this hacking and soldering and everything, I had to have a power supply that would fit. I didn't really have any good ones, so I just put in a 80 plus white unit, which is like some OEM, not OEM, but it's like you know, a great value brand sort of deal from a local hardware store. So I just put that in, put everything in, all the power supply stuff. It works sort of well. I had to use a Molex to PCI Express converter once here because it only had one PCIe 6. You know, it's not great, but it works. So when it comes to a PC this old, or well, it's 2009, yeah, 10 years old, that's old. Okay, when it comes to a PC this old, there's really only one question you can ask it. Can it game modern, there's two questions. Well, can it game on modern games? Yeah, sorta, but I wasn't really even interested in that. I wouldn't use it for that, I thought anyway. What I wanted to use it for is older games, like, you know, and have it as a showpiece for like Black Ops, COD Zombies sort of things. There's one of those games that really stands out. One game from around the time, well, specifically 2 years before this PC was released. I think you all know what I'm talking about. The question we're gonna ask this PC is, can it run Crysis? Well, let's see. You're gonna start Crysis here, if it loads. Hopefully it will. I wouldn't understand why it wouldn't, but you know, it's an old PC. Hard drive is like, yeah, 10 years old, so because the Crysis is officially trying to launch, you know they will, but it's doing its best, guys. Don't. Oh, 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 oh no, oh no, no. Don't rush. It's working. It's working. Okay, yeah, it's working. It's working. So we're getting pretty decent FPS, I'd say. Pretty okay. Not doing too bad so far. Yeah, it runs Crysis fine enough. 72 FPS, standing still, bugging around. You know, looking out over the mountains and everything. 50, yeah, it's pretty good. Does run Crysis. So I don't even really know what to show you guys more, even if I wanted to. I think that benchmarking this PC is just kind of wrong and not really in the spirit of what this is. If I would benchmark it, it would just be an Alienware Aurora ALX R1, but with worse cooling. If I benchmark it, it is just, if I don't think about that, it's just a pretty standard PC. It's an i7 960 and like an HD 5870. There's probably plenty of computers with that spec that you could look up what how they perform like. And I think that's sort of against the idea of this PC. The thing about this PC is that it exists not because it should, but because it can. It's just one of those, yeah, you can see it's ramping up. It's just junk. It's a piece of junk, which I've hotted up, given some extra love and care, and turned into a junk PC. And therefore, I decided to lovingly name this thing Junk Synchron, because it's kind of shit. Well, it looks like it, but it probably can do some stuff pretty well. Whether that's summoning Stardust Dragon or running Crysis, it can probably do it. And I think it's sort of a cool thing. It's a showpiece, it's interesting, but I think the coolest part about it is all the, you know, there's like rivets here where I've cut out the side panel and put in my own plexiglass where I just riveted hard case to it. There's lighting that goes back here that's cut up inside. The cooler is mounted with zip ties, for God's sake. Like it's stupid, but sort of interesting as well. And it's a junk PC, and that's probably where you see it next. If you see this PC again, it's going to be in the context of a junk LAN party where we bring shitty computers and just play games with them and see what they can do. It's the spirit of it. It's old trash given a new lease on life, and I think that's what encapsulates this PC, and therefore it feels sort of wrong to benchmark it. Also, I'm feeling very lazy this evening. So you can see I don't even have proper lighting. It's like 18 o'clock or 19 o'clock or something here in Sweden right now. And it's getting dark here around the winter time, so fuck it. Just make this a short and easy video. So yeah, I think think that's good enough. And hopefully you liked it. Like this PC, or you like the idea behind it. Oh my god, it's loud. Build one of your own. And it's ramping up here while playing Crisis. So yeah, guys. Thank you for watching. This is me, Snacket, or Edwin, or whatever. This is Junk Synchron. And I guess this is also a goodbye. Thanks for watching. Hope you watched the last part of the documentary, and have a good one. See ya.